All right, thanks for joining us here on 10 Tampa Bay, keeping you informed, prepared, connected, and most of all, calm. We do have some changes. The 11 o'clock advisory out from the National Hurricane Center. And notice we now are down to 70-mile-per-hour winds with Tropical Storm Debby as it continues to track right off into the northern portions of Florida, South Georgia as we head into the next 12 to 24 hours. But here's the problem. It's slowing down big time. Okay, so now north-northeast movement at 8 miles per hour. And what that's going to do is it's going to impact our weather as well. So those big rain bands we have outside and the squally weather that we've seen will continue. In fact, not only for this afternoon, but into tonight. So again, it's going to be some tough driving out there. In fact, travel still something you probably want to avoid. You can see the tropical storm warnings in blue still for most of our area. That is now extended up across the first coast of Florida. I-10, I-75, I-95, all the major interstates having some major trouble right now because we've got the wind, the rain, and the flooding. So again, the updated 11 a.m. Here's the key takeaway. Even though it's a tropical storm now, 70-mile-per-hour winds, still a very dangerous storm. And all along, we've always said it's about the impacts, not about the cone, not about the designation. And you can see right now, we've got a lot of impacts as we have that tropical storm move across South Georgia as we head into the next 12, 24, even 36 hours. Then eventually could move off into the Atlantic Ocean by later Wednesday with a second landfall possible in the Carolinas. So notice winds holding up into tropical storm force strength all the way into late week. And we could still be watching this as we go into next weekend. I know, what a storm. In fact, look at the sheer size of this. So, you know, we talk about different storms. Every storm is different. And this one, known for its water, okay, and known for its size, it's really exploded over those warm waters. We showed you those waters about 5 degrees above average in the Gulf of Mexico, near 90 degrees in some respects. And really all that fuel just feeding the system. And notice 800 miles across right now as it makes that very slow movement off to the north-northeast. So we've got to be patient, okay? So we got you ready before the storm, kept you safe during the storm, and now the post-storm is just as important for us as things slowly wind down. In fact, as we look at St. Pete out there, we've got the dark clouds and the rain bands continuing. I want to thank Tampa Storm. In fact, if you open up your cameras right now, I'm sure you have some storm pictures. My wife just sent me some as well. So we want to see some of your photos. Do it safely, all right? Don't do it in floodwaters by any means, but we will share more of your pictures as we go into time. In fact, big storm pictures coming in all across Florida. This is from the first coast, Julington Creek. Nina sending this in. And they're bracing for tropical storm force winds, okay, in the Jacksonville area. And they could see double-digit rainfall and record rainfall like we did at home. And speaking of that rainfall, pretty incredible, okay? We've been through many tropical systems here in Tampa Bay, but I think folks will remember this one. Oh, that was the one with the rainfall and the record rainfall, because Sarasota and Bradenton, okay, they set their all-time 24-hour rainfall record. Unbelievable. Up close to 11.5 inches of rain. Anna Maria Island, over a foot of rain, okay? Pinellas Park, 11 inches. So Tarpon Springs, over 10 inches. So you see what's happening out there. We got a lot of water with nowhere to go. And we have another high tide coming. So not only do we have the fresh water flooding, but the coastal flooding will be another big thing we're going to watch. So look at these high tides coming in this afternoon. So we did have some flooding overnight as expected with our surge. Water went down a little, but again, with the wind coming out of the southwest, that water is going to stay high and could actually rise another 6 inches to a foot as we head into this afternoon. If you're in St. Pete, Cedar Key, with those high tides just before 3 o'clock, we will see, again, that water rise just a bit. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And here's why. Notice the winds coming out of the southwest really feeding into Debby still, that train of rain and moisture feeding toward the center of the storm. So even though the winds are slowly easing up, and we're still going to get some gusts to 30, 40 miles per hour in some areas, that southwest wind will not allow the water to escape Tampa Bay. It's just continuing to pile that water up. So if you have flooding where you're at right now, unfortunately, you're going to have flooding as we go into the rest of today, tonight, tomorrow. It's going to be a slow process. We're also watching those feeder bands, and they have been producing these isolated tornadoes, what I call tropical tornadoes. And as we take a look at the tornado watch, that is until 4 o'clock, and that includes most of our viewing areas. So we'll keep you updated on that. Speaking of those feeder bands, plenty to track here this afternoon. Not quite as widespread, okay, with the center of the storm and Debby moving farther to the northeast, but we will have some very heavy rain. And many areas could once again see another 1, 2, or more inches of rain as we head into this afternoon. What about tonight? You know, a lot of folks are sleepy-eyed and they're saying, whoa, we were up late last night, a little noisy with that wind rattling the windows. But tonight, I think things will quiet down here at home, and all of the action really shifting across I-10, the first coast of Florida, Jacksonville, up into Brunswick, Georgia. Watching Waycross right now as the center of Debby moves across, and then notice just crawling tomorrow as it crosses areas of Brunswick and up toward Jekyll Island as we head through the day. Tuesday, spinning all that rain across North Florida. We'll have some leftover bands at times, but tomorrow could actually turn out to be a sunny, beautiful day. Just what the meteorologist ordered with all that water that we're showing you out there. We're just waterlogged at this point. And here's the problem as we go through the week. Notice we have Tropical Storm Debby. Could make a second landfall as we head up toward the low country of the Carolinas. Charleston, will be watching them very carefully. So let's come back, give you the local impacts now as we look at our Citrus County impacts. Still expecting that surge to hold in the 5 to 7 foot range, okay? Right now, most of the areas have seen closer to 5, 6, but just keep in mind, Citrus County surges up. Rainfall, another 3 to 5 inches possible, and still some gusts over 50 miles per hour. So avoid travel, and it looks like the worst of the weather between now and 8 p.m. We look at Hernando County. Oh, Hernando County, it's been a storm, huh? Okay, I'll tell you what, we've got another 3 inches or more of rain possible, and that surge along the coast about 4 to 6 feet before it starts to slowly come down. That wouldn't be until later tonight and tomorrow as the winds really ease up. Pinellas Hillsborough County. I know Pinellas Park, you think you have to build an ark in this. They had about a foot of rain. Well, you've got another 2 inches or more of rain possible. That surge along the coast, so we're watching Clearwater Beach, Madeira Beach, Indian Rocks Beach. That's going to hold in about the 3 foot range, okay? But we still have that 3 to 5 foot range for the surge. And then notice this weather impact alert will continue until 8 o'clock, and we want to avoid the travel out there with all the water. Polk and inland counties, yes, we don't worry about storm surge, but we still have that isolated tornado risk. Another 1 to 3 inches of rain with some gusts to 40, and we'll be watching things on radar till about 8 p.m. tonight. And again, try to avoid travel out there. 7-day forecast. You ready for some change? I am. In fact, we have Debby slowly moving away. Yeah, another day where a lot of folks are staying put at home, which is good news. And for good reason. We've got that weather impact alert day, as I showed you. And then tomorrow, I do think Debby moves far enough away from home where we'll start to see more in the way of sunshine, less in the way of rain, and really starting to dry out by Wednesday and Thursday, and heating back up to some normalcy into the lower 90s.